So you join me with my Mark 3 Ford Focus RS edition and a Mark 4.5 Facelift Focus ST side by side. Yeah, it's a bit of pinch yourself moment with me and the owner. I've met up with this owner before a few times and have driven this car, but a bit of a back-to-back today just to see what the difference is, what's the best. This being a 2018 car, back in sort of like the Mark 3 generation, this being the latest 2022 model. My car being an RS edition, nitrous blue, stock 350 horsepower. This car stock about 280 horsepower. This car has a Mountune M330 sort of tune on it, obviously increasing the power. Has an air filter as part of that gives it 330 horsepower. My car is a Revo Stage 2 car, which is 440 horsepower, AirTech intercooler, lots of bits under the hood, and we'll go through all of that. We'll go for a drive back to back in each of these, but while we're sort of outside, let me just show you a little bit around the cars. So my car has a few little things, Mountune bonnet vents as well, but other than that, it's pretty stock. And yeah, hopefully the point of view gives you kind of an idea. I did wash it yesterday. It was the first time I washed it myself, but 95-mile drive up here, we're actually in Barrow-upon-Soar. The owner, when I met up a few times, sort of recommended it. It looks great. 19-inch forged alloy wheels, big Brembo brakes, great stopping power. Interesting going to be to compare it to the ST as well. Inside my car, you get the Recaro shell buckets, as you can see here. They look super nice. Mine being the addition, you get carbon fibre sort of bits in the gear handbrake. Mine has a short shifter as well. Carbon fibre there, carbon fibre here. Very, very nice. RS sort of in the side. Yeah, just a really cool car. 5-door, practical, family hatch, eh? Mine has a matte black sort of roof and the rear spoiler as well. Yeah, they're both pretty crazy. Miltech exhaust on mine, looks super nice. Now you can see from this owner's car, he's got the Mountune sort of badge shown there, sort of showing it. Real exhaust on mine. Inside the ST, you get these really nice Recaro Ford Performance seats. These replace the Recaros. Pan roof in this owner's car. I've gone on about these seats. I think they're great. 6-speed manual gearbox in both cars. Latest infotainment. This owner's done about 8,000 miles in this car. I've done about 600 miles in that car. That car being on a fair few miles, being obviously 5 years old. And you get Ford Performance shown there. As you can see, the owner uses it with his family and his kids, and that's how it should be done. It's you know, that's what they're all about. But I say, well, it's so cool just having these cars here. I think it might be worth popping the bonnet to kind of show them, and yeah, go through that side actually as well. If we head in, and in my car, double pull. Now with Fords, there's mine. So a few little bits on my car to make it a little bit better, but essentially they're both the same 2.3 EcoBoost engine. This car being a bit detuned, but then obviously increased a little bit with the Mountune kit. But yeah, that's mine again. Dirty. But that's where you're kind of at. And if we kind of compare the owner's car, the 4.5, again, double pull. We head here, again, same kind of mechanism, I'm gonna say. Where is it? Oh, we're in. So again, 2.3 litre EcoBoost engine. This car just having a panel filter sort of difference. I think it's like a K&N. You can actually get nice Ford Performance shown there, which I think is cool. These engines do run hot, but essentially it's the same unit. You can kind of tell there's not much difference. But let's go for a drive in this car, and yeah, we'll take things from there, but just super cool. Right, point of view drive in the Mark 4.5 Focus ST. I might see, actually your driving position is pretty good. Let's start her up. You're on what, 8,000? Wow. So I think the last time I saw this car, it must have been 3,000. I'm not too sure.
And it might be maybe 3 to 5. I can't remember. Roughly.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I love that. I mean, it's pretty basic compared to the Mark III. That's probably the first thing. Yeah, I think I feel pretty comfortable. Am I okay to move the steering wheel? Is that all right? So I always pump it like as close as I can to my chest, just so you're kind of a little bit more. That's normally my kind of way. Camera's going. Hopefully everyone can see okay. Should we go straight to sport? And then what was there something you could put onto here? Because this is what I didn't like about mine. You can't actually get like really any Ford performance stuff in here. So yeah, so in the display there you've got the performance details. Yeah. So you've got like your oil temp, coolant temp, boost pressure, oil pressure. That's pretty cool. But then you can go up as well, and you've got it as a gauge, a bit like you've got the gauge. Yes, I've got the right. So it's exactly the same: engine oil, engine temperature, and all that. That's pretty cool. Where was the thing where you got the racetrack? So you press the mode button. Yep. And then there you go. See, I just like that because it just looks cool. And then when you actually do it in racetrack, it then goes for that. It comes up with a little badge. We'll go for sport for a second. The one thing, so this is actually something that we're going to talk about, and you're probably going to find it interesting as well, because this has adaptive suspension, doesn't it? Yeah. That also has adaptive suspension, but you can actually manually adjust the suspension in any mode. That's what's missing. That's the only thing that was like missing in this. I'll probably have to get used to the clutch because it's going to be slightly different. Oh, it's so much. I love this car, and I actually love the badge as well. I think it's like, it just. Got the Mount Street badge. Yeah, I think it sets it off. I still sort of now think, should I put it on, shouldn't I? But you know, I've got the Mount Street on it, may as well advertise it, you know. Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, I mean, I've driven 95 miles up here in the RS. The clutch and the gearbox is completely different. So mine has a short shifter as well. But this is like, it's the same engine. I love the noise from it. I think we kind of said that before. Real exhausts. So you don't see, the thing is, I'm smiling like ear to ear, so you know you've got a good car. And we were talking a little bit about tyres as well. You've got the Ford, the FP ones, haven't you, still on here? And they're pretty. I found the need warming up, so you know, especially a day like today. Yes. Once you've sort of done a couple of laps, so to speak, you get the grip. Yeah. And I suppose that, I mean, that's the biggest difference, really, isn't it? Front wheel drive to 4-wheel drive. And it's, you know, we're early February. It's wet, it's slippery, it's greasy. The seats feel more comfortable, and yet they're really supportive. My Recaros are supportive, but they're firm. It's such an enjoyable car to drive. Soaks up the bumps really well. It's great to be back in this car. Again, thank you so much for making the effort. Gearbox is really, really nice. I actually had people messaging me yesterday asking about the 4.5, and someone's getting the track pack version as well. Oh, nice. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, it's a great car, and I don't think there's going to be many track pack cars, because that's what the bigger brakes, little bit of a gloss blacky stuff. It's quite nice. How do you turn off lane keeping assist again? So I think it should be off. It should. Now, it does tend to tramline a little bit, this car. So yeah. Feeling. But if you press that on the stalk there, that's off. Ah, gotcha. So it was off and it is off. Cool. Oh man, such a nice car. So I think from stock, when I was driving this, I really noticed that it didn't have anything sort of above, I don't know, 4,000. Yeah. I think from the torque curve. And actually, when I've checked like the mapping on these cars before, and the torque curve and the power curve, yeah, they just all slag off. They basically just have nothing top end, and it's the same kind of with the RS a little bit. But obviously with your tune, the M330, it made it so good when I did that kind of drive before. I don't think much is going to change my mind.
It keeps the camera to the 2.3, probably like yours.
Yes.
It's a mid-range focus engine. That's where it's happiest, sort of 3 to 5.
Yeah.
It does feel its strongest, I think.
I think so too. It feels really good. Again, we said sort of adaptive suspension. This is in its more softest setting. I imagine your firmest setting is probably still softer than my softest setting.
Jumping yours, to feel that different.
Yeah, I think. And oh yeah, you've got rev matching as well.
Yeah.
We'll go for racetrack, just because. Yeah, you feel just the grip sort of changes a bit.
I think this car's happiest in third. When you get in third, ride the torque.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, so the steering gets a lot firmer. The brakes actually are not too dissimilar from the ones in the RS. I don't think. I don't know if these are Brembos or Brembo version. But
my guess is yours will probably last better on the track.
Yes, repeated use, and I suppose lightweight forged wheels. I don't know if they make a difference, but I guess we're going to really find out. But I mean, it's such a fun car, and this car does make a few burbles as well. But that's
you have to work for them.
Yeah, you have to work for it, but it generally does.
If you get a chance to put power down to about just over 5,000 RPM and lift off, you can probably get up.
It will do it, and we've got the rev matching on, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if I
in sport, racetrack, and slippery, which makes sense actually because you don't want the car to be
exactly. So we'll do a second gear. Let's see if we can get. Yeah, you kind of can. I don't think the GoPro is going to pick it up. We got a horse. See, this is the good thing. We both just have Ford Focuses, so it's like nice wave. Respect the horses. I love cars which are just normal, because I've seen. Well, I know you're a family man. You've got kids, and it's like this works, doesn't it?
It does everything,
Yeah, it's
a 90-10 car. 90% of the time you're doing the boring stuff in it. So
exactly. I would say I like how you can get this car firm. But obviously in its softest setting it's probably actually quicker along these kind of roads because of the way it deals with bumps.
Yeah, I've got to admit I would. In sport the suspension's fine for me, I've got used to it.
Yeah.
But obviously if I had the choice I would leave it in softest setting. Yeah. About it.
But well, my RS also has a couple of modes. Track mode is so firm, like it's beyond firm. Well, it's for a track really. And yeah, even with this we'll knock it back into sport. Oh, if we can, there we go. I make some good noises because it's real. It's not like it just doesn't feel fake. And this is like 2022 car where they got all the emission related exhaust stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised they actually got away with it.
Yeah.
Well, then again, the Mark 4 came out in 2018, 2019.
Yeah,
so
they snuck it in.
Before the regulations got strict, I don't know. Because all the new cars coming out, like the new Type R,
yeah,
quiet.
Yeah, it's ridiculously quiet. I think this is probably one of the better sounding cars. I've been in like some Mark 8 GTIs and they sound alright, but this is good. It's not really a fair comparison with mine because mine's got a Miltech exhaust with a Sports Cat, so noise wise it's mine is louder. But this is more refined but still quite fun. Yeah, I love the way I love this car. I think it's just from my like initial kind of feelings, it feels like it's much better as a daily, much better, but still plenty of fun. We've got a learner who is just stuck on a hill. But yeah, because let's I'll tell you what, let's go and try out the RS.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I might overtake this car, and yeah, I love this car. We're going to do another sort of full review on this again, which should be good fun. But yeah, for me, plenty of power. You can really pull it down. Fun on the back road. Steering is good. Wheels good. Seats are good. Gearbox is really good. Rev matching helps. Looks good. It's decent size. It's got a lot going for it. Adaptable suspension is great. Okay, you have to go through specific modes to do it. And yeah, I think Ford have always lacked on that individual settings, and I love how you can on the Ford, you can change the suspension, but in truth, track mode on the road is too much. Whereas this, I think you can. You'd still need it to be smoother, wouldn't you? Like around there, we were bouncing around a bit.
Because with the adaptive suspension as well, lower speed in sport, it is firmer.
Yes.
When you start picking up a bit of pace, it does soften up a bit more supple. So that helps to the point where you don't actually notice it once you get a bit of momentum.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously 2022 infotainment, it's better, I think. Yeah, it's a really, really good screen. Really rare screen, actually. You don't, with all of the chip shortages we've had. Yeah, and it's yeah, a bit of nostalgia moment in terms of how long we're going to have these type of cars. But cars which are essentially just normal. You can use them every day. I mean, you've done 7,000 miles. It works as a family car. You could technically do that in the RS, but I mean, it's a lot firmer. But yeah, let's you'll join me for the point of view in the RS edition. So yeah, right, in the RS edition, let's start her up. Obviously in the Recaros, slightly different. This is obviously Mark III generation. I don't think it looks too outdated, but I mean, it's each to their own. Oh, it's so much different.
No, stop. I like that.
It's slightly louder, as you could hear. We'll have it on. Did we have yours on the nav? I can't remember. Oh yeah, we had yours on that performance thing. So for me, this doesn't have anything to show anything performance, so I tend to just turn it off. You've got the dials, you've got the gauges. Yeah, already I kind of know when you've got like the modes. You've got everything on here. Heat steering wheel. It's got every option basically in the RS edition. Yeah, straight away the clutch is so much firmer. Yeah. And it is completely different. I think probably the suspension, mine being stock, yours is also stock, is probably one of the main things.
The exhaust sounds really nice.
Thank you.
Really nice.
Yeah, so it's a Sports Cat Miltech exhaust. Yours is the stock exhaust, which does bang as well. The four-wheel drive, luckily the car is warm because I drove it like 90 miles to get here. But yeah, you can obviously take a bit more liberties in here. And also this is my car, so I can you get the whooshes and the stuff like that. Now I should be fair, that's from stock. This car does make some nice noises, and all Mark III RSs are pre-OPF, so they're better noise in that sense. My car doesn't have rev matching, but yeah, I think as soon as I get in this, maybe because I'm a little bit more used to driving it, although funnily enough I've actually probably almost driven as many miles in your car as I have in this, because we've met up so many times. I feel more confident in this car, particularly putting the power down and in the corners, and I think that's just down to the steering rack, the tracking. The wheels are very wide in this, and the four-wheel drive. I mean, you'll wait till I'll put it into sport mode where you get a lot more noise. Not that it's quiet at the moment. Yeah, this is a much more smile car, and obviously a fair comparison would be an ST against an ST. But the truth is, the best fast Ford you can get is yours. That is the best performance car you can get. you can't get an RS anymore in the Mark 4.5, which is a real shame, because having driven yours, I was like, the setup of it's so much good. Obviously this is an older generation car. The chassis on that is really, really good. I do like how if you it's very loud, but not too loud, because it's got a sports cat. It does quiet down a little bit. Steering is quite nice and light actually. I'd probably say I have a little bit more feel compared to your one. Not much, because you can really feel the front end in your car, and yeah, and I suppose power wise for most people it's fine, for both cars. When you're really on it, like this car will do over 170, this car.
The Autobahn.
which needs you need the Autobahn or a track. Suspension wise, I think in its softest setting this is firmer than
it does feel
your firmer.
Yeah.
But I won't put it in track because I think you value your teeth. But what I will do is, while we're here, I'll pull it into sport mode, and what that does is basically it just loosens a few things up, but it also opens the valves, so you get a few pops and bangs. So
it sounds mega.
And it's very capable.
Yeah.
Like
even from here I can feel.
You don't even, like, I didn't even need to try, and it's just like, and these roads and in normal mode it will burble, but it will be like softer burbles, whereas this is just like, it's doing what the normal RS would do, but louder, because that does pop a bag. But you could have so much fun.
You don't even need to go faster.
No, well that's the weirdest thing. I prefer, within the limit you can have fun, and yeah, it's just like steering goes a little bit firmer in sport. It's very it's quite rear biased as well, the car, so it hooks up from the back and spins round. Now I can't just randomly whack it in a second like you can in yours, because I need to be a bit slower on the heel and toe, but
yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh, I'm glad you love it. It's a huge, like, I always think of it like it's 10 out of 10 for fun all day long. And it's just similar to yours. I think it follows camber a little bit in the road.
Yeah, the Focuses have always done that.
Yeah, is it 235 section tyres in yours?
I'm not sure.
It's 19s though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it probably is. Brakes wise, I don't think there's that much in it. And even actually the weight of the car, you mentioned this before to me, that you think maybe they're not too dissimilar in weight.
I think this was a lighter platform. So I think the four-wheel drive adds a bit of weight, but obviously then they're heavier. The new Focus is a bit heavier, so
yeah,
to help you.
Because front wheel drive, I mean this weighs in about 1530 kilos. I think yours would be 1450 max, maybe.
Don't feel like I've got the pan roof on.
Oh, you've got the pan roof, which
so
adds to the weight.
Yeah, I think that's 40-50 kilos.
Yeah. Oh man, these roads are absolutely amazing, and then you can knock it back into normal. You've got racetrack, which shall we pull it in racetrack, and I can just show you if you want to lose your teeth.
Wow, yeah, that's.
You'll notice it, like.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's like really really firm. But then you've got this little button on the left hand side where you can have it in racetrack, but the suspension's soft. So that's quite cool, how you can manually do that. But we'll stick her back into just normal. It's good to have it stock suspension, so even though this car's tuned and got all the other stuff, the one thing I said to him, I was like, is the suspension stock? And it is, which is good.
The other thing I've noticed, has it had the supposedly?
I think, yeah, it's had.
I'm getting,
yeah.
Sounds real.
Yeah, it's definitely real sound. It's got everything on it. I think when I checked like receipts and stuff on this car, it's had about 10 or 15,000 pounds work done on it. Just with everything to get the whole setup. But yeah, I think the Sound Imposer probably would have been very similar to your one in terms of its, yeah, a bit artificial. But what I love about your car, which is what I didn't expect, was yours does make real exhaust noise.
It doesn't actually need the Imposer sort of, you know, the sound coming through the speakers in mine even.
Yeah,
it definitely doesn't. It's loud enough.
Yeah, this definitely is, and yeah, I still can't believe it's big pinch. Like, this is the longest journey I've done coming up here, so it's the most I've driven the car in one sort of sitting.
How was it on a run? Did it feel?
It was actually okay. You know, I got 29 miles per gallon, which I think is pretty good for a 440 brake horsepower car. I'm guessing yours is sort of like in the 40, maybe high 30s.
Yeah, you can get high 30s
on a cruise, and that's with your Mountune M330, isn't it?
The Mountune's not affected fuel consumption.
Yeah,
obviously, when you're driving normally.
Yeah, when you're on it, and Revo say the same with this. It doesn't affect fuel consumption, which I think is true. But obviously, once you're on it, you'll get through. Like, it's between sort of like 310 and 350 miles to a tank on this, which is pretty good. 51 litres. It's not the biggest tank. But when you're on it, you'll get like sub 200 kind of thing.
Yeah, same in mine. If I've been having a bit of a fun drive and then I fill up, it'll say I'll only get 200 miles.
200.
Yeah, because obviously it's working. It's looking at your last so many miles or what you can do. But if I've been driving sensibly, you can get nearly 400 miles out of my tank. 400.
Yeah. That's really good. Really good. Yeah. So 2 amazingly fun fast forwards. I want to try and do some sort of conclusion now, really, because both the 2.3 litre, I don't know, apples and oranges, really, isn't it? I mean, you can't get an RS anymore. They're not going to do an RS, so this is as late and as good as you can get from that side. But if you want a fun fast forward hatch, which you could potentially get today, I think yours is just amazing, particularly as a daily. There's another Fiesta ST there. They're everywhere. Everyone loves their fast forwards. It's a great little community. Yeah, so it's hard. It's a really hard one to summarise. What do you think? What would you say?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this is more for the weekends.
Yeah.
For just in pure enjoyment, and you could live with it. I could happily live with this.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. I don't think it's too firm.
No.
So other than that, the suspension, I don't really see what you're sort of losing out on.
Yeah.
I mean, what's, you know, heated seats. That's.
Yeah, you do get them in the standard Recaros. You get a heated wheel on this.
But other than that, you don't miss any creature comforts really.
Not really.
It just sounds so good. But it's made me realise the potential of the engine. You know.
Oh, massively.
So it's you know, I wasn't going to stage 2 mine, but I might.
It's
I wait till the warranty runs out before I do that. Though.
Yeah, I mean, it can definitely take the power. I think it's the usual thing. If you're constantly on it, you're just going to end up affecting it. I mean, I've babied this car quite a lot, to be fair.
And obviously with this you can enjoy that power all year round, whereas mine, you only get the power fully down on a dry day.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It does, you know, you get up to speed so quickly that there's been times I've gone like, oh, the brakes aren't that good, but then it's because I've just got up to speed so fast, even with the manual gearbox. I think it's good that
catch you out, can't it? The speed, and then, like you say, you get into a corner and you think, hang on a minute, but you look down and you're doing you're going faster than you thought you were. So.
Yeah, and I think like my car also has a reversing camera, and just like yours, Ford don't cover them up. So that's not going to help me too much. We'll reverse her into your Mark 3 4.5. I also really like your grey colour. You can get a metallic grey in the RS's too, and they look really nice. That would have probably been one of my other options, but nitrous blue, it's kind of like the signature colour of the RS.
Yeah, if they did the blue that was on the Mark 4, I think I would have got it in blue, but they changed that for the green.
Yeah, and you can get yours in like orange, can't you?
No, I think they discontinued that.
Oh yeah, they discontinued the orange, and you can get it in green
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try and put my face a little bit on on here. I think in conclusion, between these two cars, super fun weekend track kind of going tool. I have driven your car on track, and it's really, really good. So it's like, but it's probably, yeah, it's like a 8 or 9 out of 10, whereas this is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But then for day to day, I've driven like the Mark 8 GTIs, Club Sports, everything. I think that's one of the best daily, like genuinely. I know I've spent a lot of time in your car to kind of say, but I think it's really comfortable, can go firm, can go good, obviously tunable, like short shifter, you can get anything if you want, and the community is great. So for me, yeah, I mean, let's actually step out. Let's do a final little conclusion on these two. For me, you could have both. And I think you're happy. But yeah, two amazing cars. And yeah, let me know in the comments and subscribe. I've got more films to come, including a more in-depth version on that car, and also the owner of that car is going to drive my RS as well. So future content to come. Let me know your thoughts in the comments between these two. So much to talk about.